As some of you know, I just installed an adjustable rear sway bar onto my GR Corolla, and while trying to adjust it, I found out that the stock Endlinks are not really doing it for this. So I went ahead and I bought some aftermarket Cusco adjustable rear Endlinks for the GR Corolla, and I'm gonna be showing you how to install them on your car today. As I said, your car, it doesn't have to be a GR Corolla. The adjustable Endlinks like these are pretty much the same all around, so if you have a car that's not in GR Corolla, you could still use this video to help install your rear Endlinks as well. Now, when you open the box for your adjustable rear Endlinks from Cusco, you're gonna be greeted with a manual written all in Japanese. I did my due diligence and I went ahead and translated the pages that are actually relevant for the install here. So I'm gonna be posting these up as we go along. That way you guys don't have to do this yourself. I already translated it. I will post it up on the video. Now, moving on from the manual, we're gonna set that to the side and pull out our first Endlink. Now, this Endlink you're gonna have to put together. All the parts come separately within a box, of course. It's kind of like a Lego. You kind of just have to piece them together to fully make them work. But here is the first Endlink. As you can see, these ends were already clamped together. This little like bracket thing was already put together as well. But if you look in the instructions, as you can see, all of the pieces are separate. Now, I'm assuming that this is just to show what the pieces are more than you having to put everything together. But this tells you which parts you're looking at. And coming into our little bag, we have a few pieces that we're going to be putting together right here. These pieces are for the top. Now, the top of this Endlink actually mounts to the trailing arm, or I think the actual hub part of the rear of the GR Corolla. Now, how you're going to install these parts is first taking the smaller bolt, slide that through, taking this longer extension and screwing it onto the smaller bolt, hand tightening it for now. Now, the reason why this is so long is to be able to actually reach the mounting hole on the trailing arm. That way it doesn't have to work and contort all that much to be able to mount properly when you actually go to install this. And once the top portion of this Endlink is put together, it's time to do the bottom portion. And we're gonna be using this bolt with a couple of nuts. Now, what we're gonna do is fully take off the bolt and the nuts. And then you're gonna want this bolt facing the opposite direction of where this bolt is facing. So slip it in here, put these bolts on, this one on first.
Quick editor note, the concaved edge of this collar nut should actually be faced in the opposite direction of where I put it on. The instructions showed that this is the correct way. The way it was put on the bolt before installing made it seem like that was the correct way, but it is not. You need to put the concaved edge of the collar nut towards the bolt head itself.
And then the lock nut, screw that back on for now as well. Now go ahead and do the same thing with the second Endlink, and then we're gonna get to tightening these before we actually go to install. So what we're gonna do right now is take a 6mm Allen key, stick that into the cap bolt, and take a crescent wrench, and then just crank them down until they don't go any further. Now do that with the other Endlink, and let's get on to installing these.
Now prep the car by first breaking loose the lug nuts, lifting the car up, setting the car onto jack stands, remove your lug nuts and your wheels, and get on with the install. For the under trays, you're gonna need to use a 10mm socket to remove the bolt, and then use a pop clip removal tool or a flat tip screwdriver to remove the two pop clips in the following locations. With those removed, pull the under tray down under the sway bar for now. Then do the exact same thing on the other side. Next, take a 17mm socket or a wrench, and then break loose and remove both of the Endlink nuts. With the nuts removed, remove the bolt holding the Endlink to the sway bar, keeping in mind that you may have to remove one side first before the other because one side might be a little bit stuck on. Now remove the dust cover from the top Endlink nuts, break loose and remove those, and then fully remove the Endlinks.
Once you pulled off your old Endlinks, you need to adjust the new ones to be about the same length as the old ones. That way they go on pretty nicely at first, then you can adjust it from there. So to do this, when they have two locking nuts, what you're gonna wanna do is loosen both of those up. Once you have the locking nuts pretty loose, go ahead and spin the center collar until the Endlink is about the same length as the stock Endlink. All right, so this right here is about as far as the Endlink will go for me, so that's what we're gonna have to work with. But when we get under the car and start adjusting this, we'll be able to adjust it to our liking.
Now install the new Endlink as shown.
So the instructions call for using the OEM nut to put onto this and tighten it down, torque it. All right, so really quick, you want to make sure that the collar right there is aligned with the bolt. Just make sure that it's facing up before you fully tighten that.
Then fully tighten and torque the upper Endlink nut to 75 Newton meters or 55 foot-pounds of torque. With the top nut properly torqued down, go ahead and twist the Endlink until it's to the proper length you need it to be, insert it into the sway bar, then install the nut connecting it to the sway bar, torque that down to 75 Newton meters or 55 pound-feet of torque, while also using an M12 hex key to be able to hold the bolt in place when you're torquing.
One thing I wanted to point out while I'm doing the other side really quick is that you want the bottom ball joint and the top ball joint to be aligned with each other, pretty much like perpendicular, well, parallel to the bar. and the mounting points. Just to be safe, just keep them as level with everything as you can. That'll increase the longevity of them and just be safer anyways. So just a little note there.
Now reinstall everything, drop the car to the ground, and then move on to the next steps.
Once you have the car on the ground, you're going to want to make sure that your sway bar is basically level with the underside of your car. So for me, I'm going to want my sway bar, at least this arm part, to be about parallel with the under tray. That way, there's no scraping on the ground of the sway bar itself. And one way you could do that is if you remove one end link from one of the sides, which I already removed the other side's end link, what you're going to want to do from there is adjust the center collar until the sway bar is the proper height. Go to the other side, reinstall the end link, and then we'll adjust for preload from there.
Just the center collar until the height is where you want it to be. Then do the same thing with the other side, adjust for preload on both sides from there, and then tighten everything down, and you're good to go.
So that's how you install adjustable rear end links in your car, specifically a GR Corolla with the Cusco rear end links. If you got some good use out of this video and you enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe if you're not subscribed yet, and ring the bell so you guys will be notified of more content like this with the GR, with my racing, with other car content in general, and racing game stuff, to include Forza Horizon 6 whenever that comes out, I think in another month or so. But be sure to ring the bell for all that stuff, and until next time guys, keep going fast.